the classes of individuals, the classes of the citizen we have. We have the common man, the man who doesn't even go to school. We have other man who goes to school, but is sitting and doing nothing. And we have other man who is also in the government, but doesn't even feel the impact of the government. No, there are people that you feel they are in the government, they are well-to-do. Just of a recent, 2 days back, I met an education secretary, a retired education secretary of a local government, an ES of a local government. After retirement, they will tell you that they will spend months and years pursuing their gratuity, pursuing their benefit, going back to square one, feeding from hand to mouth and begging people. This is uncalled for. This is uncalled for. Somebody who has been serving for the past 35 years, every plan for his retirement should be planned before his retirement. It means that the government have 35 years plan to make before his retirement, not after his retirement. He will start running helter and skelter up and down. He's looking for money to feed. It's the same money he's using to travel from one local government to another, from his hometown to the state to the federal. What? We all have responsibility to make. When people are not treated equally, their reaction will be somehow. Now, let me also tell you that there are times that when people lost their loved one who are still active in service, maybe two people from different family, and you get to hear that one of the family member has received his payment, his pension or his gratuity, his death gratuity, and the other family has not received. How do you feel? And possibly maybe they die the same time or they retire the same time. Some policy, the same policy, is favoring somebody and dishonoring somebody. These are things, these are policies that the government really need to check. Now we have self-responsibility. The government have responsibility. Me as a pastor has responsibility. Social media influencers have responsibility. Either you are a politician or no politician, we all have responsibilities. That is why during election, we will all be encouraged to go and cast our vote, because that is our franchise, that is our political right. We all have self-responsibility to the development of this country. When somebody fails to do his responsibility, it can lead to social unrest. Then we have corporate responsibility, agricultural and business loans and support. This is another aspect where people seem to fight government policy, where people actually at some point seem to disobey and cause economic disorder to a constituted authority, because they feel that we are farmers. Somebody who is another farmer in another community is receiving loan of 500,000, and I'm here still struggling without any loan. It has effect on me. We are from the same nation. We serve the same government. Why should one government why should one government favor me and the same government doesn't favor another? These are the challenge. We have issues where local farmers receive loans, fertilizer loans, and other farmers don't receive it. When all of these things are not equally distributed to people that are supposed to be distributed to, they tend to react negatively. So I want to say that as government are actually fighting against economic inequality, which I know government has been trying their best to fight economic inequality, but I want to say their best is just second best, and second best is not good enough in economic inequality. If it is not first best, then it is not best at all. So economic inequality can actually be fight against by especially those in the authority. educational development. I've mentioned that already. Under development of some government-owned institution. Now, maybe federal government institution, for example, we have federal universities in different states. When one federal university is receiving the grant of 10 million, another federal university is receiving grant of 2 million, that is a problem. They are all federal university. What are the reasons behind that? Those reasons and policies should be stated and explained accurately. When some school, federal school are receiving 10,000 naira as school fees, and some federal school receive 5,000 naira as school fees, it's already a challenge. They are all federal school. What makes the difference? What is different in the other school and what is different in this school? They are both in the same country and they are all federal school. We are not saying these things are wrong, but sometimes most of these policies and reasons are not accurately explained to the people that are supposed to receive the explanation. So their reaction actually tend to be negatively. Right information, supporting the security agency. As I round up, I also want to say, sometimes our security agency needs serious support. Our police, our military officers, the Navy, the Air Force. Imagine a few weeks ago, I watched a video of a young military gallant officer from Maiduguri who has spent months without seeing his family. From the video, he explained he was about going to see his family. He was told the transportation alone to and fro was about 50,000 naira, and that is his salary for 1 month. In that 50,000 naira, he has wife, he has children, he has school fees to pay, he has other bills to pay. Some of these things actually need to be considered and looked into and given appropriate consideration. Supporting the media. If the media carry out negative information today, believe me, it can turn this country upside down. So the media should be given appropriate attention, and the benefit of the media practitioners should be appropriately given as when due. That is why you hear the issue of brown envelope in the media, for example. The journalists will tell you brown envelope, because their take-home is nothing to write home about. Their monthly stipend is nothing to write home about. All of these things should be considered. As I conclude, I want to say that economic inequality is very, very important, and it is an important issue that no amount of time spent in addressing it can actually be a waste in any means, because the negative effect is somebody no one can predict. By understanding the causes and consequences of economic inequality, we can work towards creating a more just and equitable world for all of us. If only we can fight against economic inequality, then we can fight against social unrest. Let us all strive to build a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive and succeed, regardless of their home, their religion, their tribe, or their background. We should be able to make this society a place where a child of nobody can become somebody, like in the words of Martin Luther King Jr. So we've been able to look at economic inequality, economic unrest, the causes, the effects, and the way forward. Thank you very much for this wonderful time.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that educative section on economic instability and its connection to social unrest. So to our viewers, we would love to have you in this conversation. So let us hear from you from the comment section. Let us know your thoughts concerning this topic, the causes of economic inequality, how it leads to social unrest, and also how to mitigate this. So thank you very much, Pastor Manasseh Adamu. You have actually, spoken extensively about economic inequality. You made mention of the type of equality, the income equality, and the likes of them. You also spoke about, the consequences and impacts of social inequality and how it leads to social unrest. So I actually have a question. When we talk about social inequality, I believe that there are actually, perception to this. Because if you said, okay, I as a person, when I see that somebody else, is being given something that I think I deserve, but I'm not being given, at what point do people feel that, it is actually injustice when somebody else has something and they don't have it? So can you, help us to do justice to it? What are the perception to economic inequality, and how can we justify that? Okay, what has actually happened is truly, economic inequality, or maybe any type of inequality you can think of.
All right, Miss Janet, thank you very much. Like I said, sometimes this lack of appropriate information and education that actually people will feel they are not given equal rights and privileges with their counterpart. Sometimes when a class teacher who have 5 students in his class decided to reward somebody who came first, and other who came last get angry, feeling that they've not been given equal reward. It should be informed and explain why this reward was given. Not just given out those rewards quietly. Now, at some point, he may be right for getting angry if the reason behind the reward or the award is not well explained. So sometimes people feel it is their right to have this. Meanwhile, it is not their right. Number one, if I am a graduate today, it is not a right that government should give me work. It is not a right. I can never hold the government responsible for not employing me. But if I have what it takes, and somebody who doesn't have what it takes is given an opportunity that I know I should receive, it can cause social unrest. Another thing is that if after you've employed me, my salary is supposed to be 5,000 and you are giving me 4,000, that is economic inequality. That is job inequality. That is salary inequality. When 4 of us are employed, somebody with a master degree is receiving 2 naira, and somebody with a diploma is receiving 4 naira. That is salary inequality. So I have a right to speak. But when somebody who has a diploma and also have a diploma, and he has attended several courses and several seminars, and he said to be rewarded, and I'm getting angry, feeling because we are on the same grade level. There are seminars and educational backup he has that I don't have. So we should be able to understand that as individuals. So I think this goes down to individuals as most especially, that we should be able to understand where to go and where not to go when speaking against social unrest. Sometimes we feel it is our right. It is not our right. Some right we claim are actually not right. They are just privileges. If we receive them, well. If we don't receive them, to God be the glory. So we must learn to demarcate between what is right and what is not right. Sometimes it is not just right, it is only a privilege. So we must learn to actually define these two and know how we can place the two at the same level or at different level Either it is a right or it is a privilege. Some things we receive them as privileges. If government decide to say, okay, we want to give all the graduates 5,000 naira today, it's not a right, it is a privilege. But if you promise to do that, and you decided to pick out 10 people and you leave the rest, that is injustice. Or you pick out people from one tribe or from one religion to reward them and leave others. That is injustice, and that is what I'm talking about.
Okay, thank you very much for that, sir. So, still talking about economic inequality, economic inequality doesn't just, lead to social unrest at a particular point or at a given situation. Sometimes it comes as a result of, a build-up. Just like we said, okay, some people feel that, okay, when we talk about marginalization, people feel the reason why they are not getting certain economic advantage, certain opportunities, are because they are being marginalized. Some time ago we spoke about Nigerian diversity, and we made mention of, okay, there are actually tribes that are seen as superior than others. We have, okay, the majority and the minority, and sometimes the minorities tend to feel like they are being marginalized, and that's the reason why, certain advantages are not being given to them, or certain opportunities. Now, how do we address this issue of marginalization when it comes to economic inequality?
Number one thing is that we must see all of us as people of one nation. We must see ourselves as Nigerians, not as people from any other culture. Nigerian is our culture. Nigerian should be our identity. Nigerian should be our religion. This is number one thing we must first of all tend to handle and deal with. Look at the developed country. You hardly can experience what we call this marginalization. I have a friend recently in Suleja Axis of Abuja site. He in Niger State, a very expert, a good and expert guy when it comes to electronics. We were speaking with him before.
Apologies for that. It seems the network has locked him out. But nonetheless, we are still talking about economic inequality and its connection to social unrest. So to our viewers, we will still love to hear from you. We are seeing your comments. We do appreciate them. And also your contributions. If you have questions, you can do well to forward them to us, and we will address them. So Pastor Manasseh Adamu has actually, spoken extensively about economic inequality. What exactly is economic inequality? A situation whereby, certain people or parts of the community feels like they are on equal distribution of resources and opportunities, where some people feel marginalized, where others feel they are not given the same opportunity as they deserve. So that is what we are currently looking at the moment. You're welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much, ma. Sorry for that break.
You can go ahead.
Yes, like I said, we should learn to consider ourselves as people from one nation, not people from different tribe, not people from different religion, not people from different economic background, but people from the same nation with the same identity. Our identity is Nigerians. Our identity is our flag, green, white, green. This is our pride, and this is who we are. We are not Igbos. We are not Hausas. We are not Yoruba. Yoruba, Igbo, Hausas, Kataf, Baju, this is our tribe. But our identity is the green, white, green flag. And this is what should matter, and not where we came from.
Thank you for that. So you actually spoke during the course of your presentation. You spoke extensively on government policies, and that is a very important aspect of economic inequality. So, how can we make sure that these policies are actually void of inequality? How do we make sure that government policies do not actually favor a particular group of people while others are actually left, to themselves? So what can we do to make sure that these policies actually addresses everybody? Everybody is given equal opportunity, and then equal distribution of social amenities, access to education, and the likes of them.
Thank you very much. The interesting thing is that many of these tribes have representative both in the red chamber and in the green chamber. Some of these representatives from other tribes we consider smaller tribes, they are not Yoruba, they are not Igbos, they are not Hausas. People from Java land have representative. People from other tribe in Middle Belt have representative. People from the south, a BBO, they have representative who is from there. And the representative is not Hausa, he's not Igbo, he's not Yoruba. So long he's there, it means they are being represented. But when it comes to political battle or political affairs, where some people feel this tribe will favor us than this tribe, that is where the issue will come from. Like I said, we should be able to deal with each and every member of every party system, of every party, I mean, as a Nigerian. We should be able to consider each other as people of one tribe. So the government policy should exclude issue of Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. I have been an advocate of this. I will continue to be till my last call on earth. That we all are Nigerians, and we didn't become Nigerians by error or by mistake. This is our nation. One tribe should not be more superior than other tribe. We should all receive equal treatment and equal rights. If I was Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa, I would still say what I'm saying, because this has been part of who I am. So I want to say this is that government has been trying, because we have members representing us in our National Assembly and our State Assembly, which is a very good thing. I will encourage that this should continue. This should not be stopped, because most of our major tribe, almost every tribe have representative. It's either you have a local government council, a local government chairman, or somebody who is a head in the local government. Then it means you are being represented. But we need more of that, more than that. That is what I'm actually emphasizing here. Thank you.
Apologies for the network glitch.
It's
So
okay.
okay, yes, sir. So you actually spoke about how to deal with economic stability, and I actually love the fact that you went down to history to talk about the Aba women riots. You brought the NSAS that happened in the year 2020, which was a perfect example of how social economic can social unrest, and why a majority of people think that okay, the reason behind
I'm not getting you. Your audio is off.
So
Sorry, I didn't
during
get
the
you.
answers, okay. So I was actually, going back to your presentation where you talk about the answers, historical events that have happened that has actually caused social unrest. And one very important part you actually brought out was the answers. And I believe majority of us, our audience, we still have that fresh in our mind. It just happened, 3 to 4 years ago. So, why people actually think that the reason behind the NSAS protest was just police brutality, but it was more than that. I think it was actually caused by, economic inequality, where the youth actually felt they were not actually given the opportunities and, the opportunities they deserve as young people of the nation. So and then they came out in their mass to actually protest and the likes of them. So when it comes to economic inequality, situations where people feel that they are being wronged, they feel they're not given the opportunities, what are the alternatives? Most times people think, okay, for them to be heard, they have to, come out to protest, they have to, riot or do so many other things, linking it back to the Niger Delta militancy, where people felt, okay, for them to be heard, they had to, engage violence and the likes of them. So what are the alternatives in situations whereby people feel they have been wronged, they're not been given the opportunities, and then there's economic inequality? How, okay, apart from social unrest and the likes of riots and violence, how can people be heard?
All right, thank you very much. That's what we call town hall meeting. It is very important that those in authority should understand the impact of town hall meeting
So there
in
seems to
every.
be a network glitch.
Can you hear me? Are you with me?
Yes, me too, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
I say the our political leaders and those in authority, not just the political leaders, even if you are a religion leader, you should be able to understand what we mean by town hall meeting and the power it carries. Now, as a clergy, there are times I sit with my members, I ask questions about the development of the local assembly. Sometimes in the Baptist, there's what they call church in council. I'm not a Baptist pastor, but I've been a Baptist member for some time. That's what they call church in council. Now, the church in council, it is a time where people get to brainstorm about some happening in the church, share their ideas, profile solution to some challenges, not only the leaders, but to everybody who is part of the council member in the church. So I think our political leaders should understand this power. It can be on social media, not just to hold a town hall. Most of town hall we see are during election. And what happened after election? Not any town hall. Only few political individuals you see them calling on town hall. Thank God for the local government chairman where I hail from, some of the local government, Right Honorable Francis Zimbo. Last week, he held a town hall, and which was very important for the growth of the society and for his government. So I think our political leaders should actually create a platform where their subordinates and their followers will be able to trust them, sit down with them and tell them their lapses, tell them their errors, and think of modalities to put in place and how they can put those suggestions and advice together for the development of their political career and the development of the community and society at large. So sometimes when you sit down with the masses and they tell you this is what we expect, we don't get this. Sometimes the masses don't know. If you promise them you want to build them you want to construct a road for them, then they don't. Sometimes they feel the federal government will just call this politician and give him money. Sometimes it is not done like that. You will bring out your budget. You will tell them how many kilometers road you want in your district or your constituency. They will call some of their constructors and ask them, go and check what is happening there. It is the contractors that will be contacted directly and given money, sometimes, not all the time. So sometimes the lay people in our rural areas are not aware of these policies. So during town hall meeting, they can be appropriately informed and communicated. So I think town hall meeting for me is something very important that can go a long way to inform and educate people about government policy. What people don't understand what it entails. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that response. So, as we actually conclude, our time is fast spent. We'll be coming to the end of this episode. I would love you to say something to those who feel there's economic inequality, those who feel that they've not been given opportunity. We have a lot of them. We have so many youths who are done with school, but then they feel there are no job opportunities for them and they are angry about it.
Well, if you're angry about government inequality, you have the right to be angry. That's number one thing I would say. If you're not happy about the government
Okay.
policy, you have right to be angry about it because you are citizen of Nigeria. If you don't feel the impact, you have the right not you have the right to express yourself. But number one advice is that we should do it constitutionally, not to do it against the constitution. Number two, my advice to the government: do not promise what you cannot do. Do not make people life uncertainty about your policy. People should be able to trust you about what you can do and what you cannot do. And to my fellow youth, I've, uh, I've been angry about government policy because sometimes it doesn't favor me as well. But I've never turned to stop doing my best and contribute my culture to the growth of this nation. I have other engagement I do. I don't have to depend on the government to feed me. I have family to catch out for. I have friends and family who look up to me. I have responsibility. I have bills to pay. Even with the government salary, it cannot go anywhere. Believe me, you those who collect 70,000 naira as salary today, the money they spend in a month is more than 70,000 naira. So where are those money coming from? It means they have other side hustle they are doing. So talk more of somebody who don't even have the white collar job. So we all must stand up and begin to meet our responsibility without looking at the government to meet our rights and to meet our economic demands. We should be able to resolve those issues. Think of what to do. If you are in school, begin to think of handwork to do. If you are already a government worker, begin to think of side work to do. You can create a business. After work, you go back and fall back to it. By the time you retire, you are already used to that business and you continue that business. At least it will go a long way to help you. Instead of going up and down, looking for money for tea in the morning, after retirement, no money for tea, uh, trouble will come, hypertension will come, low BP or high BP will come. I pray that will not be your portion. We all have right to be angry about government policy, but also have responsibility of meeting our needs and supporting the government policy. Thank you very much.
So thank you everyone for joining us. We deeply apologize for the network challenge. We have actually come to the end of today's episode on the Peace Clinic, talking about economic inequality and its connection to social unrest. So, to our audience, we're actually glad you could join us. We see your comments and we see your contribution. So, thank you very much, and we sincerely appreciate Pastor Manasseh Adamu for such a wonderful and educative time. So thank you and see you all on the next episode of the Peace Clinic, which is happening on Monday by 4 p.m. So thank you and see you all in the next episode.